Sorry about that, everybody. The camera did die. So this is going to be part 2 of the video on how to change guitar strings. We just put the E string on, we put it back in the pouch, and now we're getting ready to do part 2. If you did not see part 1, go back and watch it because that's going to show you the main parts of what you need. We're just equipping the strings right now. Then if you already know how to take them off, well then continue watching. So we've equipped part of the E string over here. I need to do this. Actually it goes this way. My bad. I had you guys face the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so we got the E string equipped. We put the E string back in its pouch, and we've set it over there on top of the blue notebook because we don't want to get mixed up with all the other strings. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this next pack. This is 36, or the A string. Look at that new string. Coil it up, as I said before. So we take this new pouch right over here and just set it on the side so we know it's empty. Go ahead and take it, unravel it if need be. Once again, pick up the guitar. Look in these holes right down here. You're going to find the second for right. Or the second from the right, sorry. Then you just shove it in there, pull it out. Same process as before in part 1. Hook it up to its bridge piece right up here. You shove it through this hole in the peg. Pull it through. Oh, it came out on me. Oh, goodness. It's trying to kill me. It's got a mind of its own, hallelujah. Go through. It's actually a lot easier if you just... Oh, I got snapped with that one. It's a lot easier if you grab it up here so you could actually just shove it through. But apparently I like to do things the hard way. It's actually better if you clean the headstock before you put the strings back on, but I'm not doing this the easy way because I make things harder on myself. And it's all dusty, as you can see. I have a little rag for that somewhere. Hold on. Stay. Good guitar. Alright, I have one of these things, a little rag for it, and all you would really do, because you guys can see how dusty and dirty that is, you just wipe it down real quick. I mean, there's not a whole lot of need for a ton of polish and all that, but I mean, you just get it to where it looks okay. It don't really matter too much. You know, they're not looking at your headstock inspecting for dust when you're playing, so it doesn't matter too much. But I mean, if you're really worried about getting criticized, just go ahead and take the time and dust it off. Do yourself a favor. And of course the bottom, you can do the same thing, just wipe it off. And it's really dirty just because the string snapped on me. It's really dirty down here. But we're just going to make it look nice right here. Rub across those frets. And it's nothing too serious. You just want to get around these areas. And of course there's guitar polishing tools that I can show later in this video. But for now I'm just going to throw that over there. So we're going to get back to doing this part. And put this here. There we go. I'm going to try and hold this out of the way because it's being annoying. We're just going to go ahead and wind the string. If it wants to let me wind the string. No, it won't be that way. Okay. Just continue to wind and wind and wind. Now it's starting to go up, so I just got to push it back down. If a string starts to get to the top of the peg, just push it back down. Clearly that don't sound like an A, so I got to tune it. You just want it till it makes a nice clean sound. It don't even have to be the right note, but just make it to where it makes a clean sound. That's probably both tuned to the same note, actually. So, you know, right here you see how these little wires are like dangling everywhere. So here is where the wire cutters come in. I did not mention this in the last video. So you open it to where there's a hole right here, because it starts off and while it's closed it's got a hole. So you open it up to where there's a hole. Okay, everyone see that? Open it up to the hole. You take it not directly on top because you want to have some leeway in the guitar until later, because the guitar string may come out and you want to have enough room where you can put it back on if need be. So a little ways away, close it, and you got this part of string that you no longer need. If you'd like, you can coil it up, or you can just throw it in the trash. I'm going to throw it in my trash bin because it takes too long to coil up. I'm just going to do the same thing on this one. Boom. So now it's less of a, flying around everywhere, and it's in one spot, and if you flick it, it's just going to stop. over time. But anyway, now we've equipped the A string. So once again, we take our pouch. That which was denoted as the A string goes inside said pouch. Close the pouch, and now you've got your A string. You can go ahead and put it underneath the E string that we did earlier. Just keep repeating this process till you're done. I am going to be showing you guys the entire guitar thing, so if you'd like, you can skip to the end for any notes I may add in later. And it may just be an outro. I've got no idea what I'm going to do yet, but we will figure out together. Yeah. Alright, next one, D. Here we go. Pull it right on through. Match it up. Just like that right there. And I know it's continuous and I know it's repetitive, but that's exactly what guitar is, you know, when you're restringing it. Sorry, that's not what guitar is, it's what restringing a guitar is. It's just repetitive stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and do this by hand because that tool is not very good for tuning electric guitars just because they're so close. I got a nice clean sound. Take this right here. Go ahead and clip off the excess. You probably can't see very well, sorry. There we go. Take that excess and the garbage. We've got the D string equipped. Take the D string pouch. Put it inside. As you can see, I did that a lot faster because I wasn't using that stinking tool. Now that tool does make it a whole lot faster when you're cutting the wires, and it also makes it a whole lot faster if you're tuning or doing an acoustic guitar. The acoustic guitar is going to be a lot easier just because of the nature of it. It's further spread out, you know, and it's easier to get that tuning peg to slide in there and move, you know, rather than just having it get caught on all the other pegs. So I'm going to grab the end of that. Now we're doing the G. So we find, whoa, it's not the blurry. There we go. We find the fourth one. Shove that right on through. Now this one is slick, so you want to make sure you have it to where you can leave it like that. And just grab it from the other side and pull it all the way through. The other ones have the nickel on them. And, you know, they're the ones that are going to be more grippy, and they're just going to hold to the edges of that metal on the inside. So those ones you don't have to really worry too much about when it comes to pulling them through. You can just kind of leave them there dangling. But for these ones, they will probably slide out on you if you do not hold them. So now you can hear a clean sound. Though it's not the right note, we just leave it because we're going to tune it later. I'm also going to do a tutorial on that. Boom. Straighten the garbage, put it down. Next string goes in that pouch. So what are we going to do with the pouch with the E string? Because our E string snap just like normally always will. And you know, when we get to that pouch, we're not going to be able to put anything in it because we no longer have the E string. So what do? In this case, what we do is we just throw that pouch away. It doesn't matter. We're not going to be using it for anything else. It's just going to be there, you know. This is the B string 13. I'm actually just going to set it right there because it's easier. I know you guys didn't see that, but all I did that time was just set it right there. Just because it's easier. It's right next to the guitar. Right there. So we're going to go ahead, stand it up just like all the other times before. Ooh, I almost hit the ceiling with that. Hold on. Took you guys down. There we go. Less of a risk. And now we're just going to go ahead and put it inside right here. These ones are very, very slick because the B and the E string are two of the weaker strings. So these ones are more likely to snap than all the others, probably combined. Pull it on through. Up here. These ones are incredibly stinking long. I don't know why they add on so much extra length to these strings. But in ukulele strings, you know, the strings I got from my ukulele, the strings were actually so long, I was able to cut them in half and have 2 pairs of strings with the purchase of 1. So that was pretty cool. But if you have a ukulele, you know, that's props to you. I don't know how to play mine because it's junk. It's like $20, so of course it's not going to sound that great. There we go. It's going to be hilarious when I strum this to show you what absolute chaos this brings. Put that in there. Once again, take the B string, put it inside this number 13. So one thing that I have found is if you are in desperate need of a string and you really want to do this, this will work. You can take an extra B string, doesn't matter if it's acoustic or electric guitar, you can take an extra B string and tune it to high E, and it most times will work. And I have done that before where the strings I had equipped were E, A, D, G, B, B, but that final B was tuned to E. So you can do that, and it applies like you can use, and theoretically you could use an A string for an E. So I'm going to take this right here and just throw it in the garbage. I'm not actually going to throw it because it's not going to go very far. So I'm just going to walk over here and put it in the garbage. Alright, coming back. I'm coming back. Hold on. Alright. And now, take this one. Finally, going to be in the far left one is where this one's going to go. This is the slickest string, so be very careful. I got it just in time. Not really just in time, but anyway. Alright. And now, because this is the final one, I am going to point this up at the headstock. Put it right to this hole. Now I'm doing it sideways because it is sideways. I should have had it straight. Also, before you start winding it, make sure that it's not doing this and it's wrapped around something, because that causes a lot of strings to snap before you even get to use them. So, I'm making sure it's not caught on anything before I'm winding it. Make sure, just because it's going to be a really bad day when you get a brand new stinking pack of strings and you wrap it around a tuning peg and it snaps on you before you even get to play it. That's going to make you very angry. You're going to have a very bad day. And it's just not going to be fun. So you see how that wrapped around? Okay, so I need to pull this back. Now this is getting in my way, so I need to pull this out like that. And try again. I'm going to go ahead and keep twisting this. Goodness gracious, it's like an arm workout. Didn't know I was doing arms today. There we go. Now it's starting to tighten. And just like the other times, or as the Bible phrase it, as at other times, we're just going to cut this. Boom. Make sure also you don't get your finger caught in that. You may think, oh, it's just a little too dull piece of metal. Yeah, it's going to snap your finger too if you get it wrong. But anyway, so now that we've done this, we can see none of these strings are snapping. So what we're going to do is we're going to tune the guitar. Why not just cut the excess off? Because it still does have the chance to snap. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. This tuner, I'm going to put it right on here. The tuner goes on your headstock if you did not know that. The reason it goes on your headstock is a tuner works by having vibrations. So it senses the vibrations that your guitar is putting out, and it tells you what note those vibrations are producing. So I'm going to point this up here so you guys can see it. Right here. Turn it on, if I can. So as you can see when I strum, it's going to give me a note right there. The yellow means I'm not quite there yet. So, sorry, let me go ahead and do this right here. Move you guys a little bit. So closer. This is the part where I'm going to want my guitar strap back, because that's going to make this really difficult if I don't have it. Guitar strap, you are welcome back. Alright, that's the top, I think. I think this is the top. I could be wrong. I'm going to put this on. Sorry. It's going to take me a little bit. These things can be a struggle to put on sometimes. Make sure this thing's straight too. And the reason it's a good idea to take it off while you're stringing it is just because it can get in the way a lot, just like it did for me. I'm going to put this on. Boom. We've got our guitar strap. Okay. Now I can do this. Okay. So as you can see, this is a D sharp. So I need to tune this up. Now it's an E. Now, as I keep strumming it, it might go back down, but it's a good idea to tune it a little bit higher up, because these tend to actually go back down as you continue tuning. So next one is tune it D sharp. I was right, they were both in the same note. And all I'm doing is taking this and turning it as I tune, and that's all you're doing. Next one. Don't tune it too fast either, because that can make it snap. There we go. And if it refuses to tune up, just like this tuner says, let it be. But anyway, no, seriously though. If it refuses to tune it to a higher note, let it be for a bit and then go back to it. Or you can keep tuning and risk breaking it. Either way. See that? Let's go back down. I'm just going to keep turning. Back to the first one. So now you've tuned it. But it still sounds like that. You can hear it. Clearly that's not right. But we just tuned every one of them. We did. So they are going to detune because the guitar needs to get used to having the strings on it. Just start over. See how long it's taken? Just needs to get used to it. And now it should sound something like this. Now it's going to sound accurate, at least for one or two songs. Yeah, you'll be lucky if you get two. But now, you know, when I strum a C chord, it's going to sound like a C chord, for the most part. So now, this is the part where you finally get to take off all those other parts that you had to leave on there before. So now we're just getting our tool, open it to where it has a hole. You take this piece and kind of peel it up. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. Hold on. We're just going to go back to the way we had it before. Here we go. I'm going to roll y'all up. Perfect. Alright, take this guitar off. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing a suit. It's just because I just came back from church. It was phenomenal, by the way. Holy Ghost showed up in a mighty way. Alright, so now, as we can see, we still have these little things hanging off. So just grab your tool and cut them off just like the false gods from the land of Israel. If you're a Bible reader, you know that joke. Or well, if you're, you know, an intense Bible reader anyway. For all those who did not get that, Israel began to serve false gods, and God pretty much just cut them out of the land, over and over again, because the children of Israel were rebellious. And they kept going back to their false gods. So, a little tiny message for you. Don't serve false gods. Goodness gracious. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tune this anymore tonight, just because it needs to adjust on its own. So once you get those brand spanking new strings on there, do not tune them after you've tuned them twice and they make a good sound. So you tune it once, of course it's not going to be in tune. So you tune it again, and then it should be making a good sound, but if it's not, keep tuning. But once you finally just get that good sound, and it finally sounds like, okay, these are chords, stop tuning it. Woo-wee, I did not mean to do that. It's also a pretty good idea not to play songs about, if you're me, wait about 24 hours, and then go back and tune it again. However, that is up to personal discretion, just depending on how long you want your strings to last. I'm just kidding. Joking, by the way, that's not serious. So, honestly, it shouldn't matter too much if you play a few songs on it. And if that's the only guitar you got, brother, go for it. Or sister, depending on who's watching. But anyway. Yeah, if that's the only guitar you got, and you're like, listen, I need to praise God, and I need to worship Him, everything I have, well then God's going to bless your guitar strings, and He's going to help them last. But, I mean, if you got more than one guitar, don't be stubborn and keep playing on that guitar. Give it time to rest, give it time to get back. As far as my experiences go, it's better to leave it. Now, with my other guitars, generally, when I had like one, I would keep playing on it, just because I had one guitar and I wanted to play my guitar. So, by the way, now we've got all our other strings that we had on our electric before, so you square them up kind of like a deck of cards. Take the case you got the new strings in, just go ahead and set them right back in here. And now you've got your E through B string, low E through B string, in this case. So now you just take the case, the sticker is still on there. Oh. So, in my case, but I'm crash, I'm just going to shove it in there. He puts over here. I'm just going to go ahead and put you guys down a little bit. I'm going to open up this. Actually, you can see that I've got strings here already, just sitting in my case. I do not have a high E string, however. I don't think. Don't quote me on that. I don't think I have one. But it's a little bit messy in there. I had it organized and now it's not. But anyway. So then you just shove these right in here. You close that puppy up. And then your electric guitar says, "I now lay me down to rest." And there you go. So a lot of people will take their strap off. But what I do is I just kind of fold it up like that. If you guys can see that. I'll kind of like fold it up in there. But yeah, that's what I do. And my journal is in here. This is actually my songwriting journal. I put my songs in here. I'm not going to open it solely for the sake of you to see some of the words and some of the chords, and then you can pause it, take it, and then copy it out for yourself, so I'm not going to do that. But this is what I write my songs in. It's just a simple journal. You don't need anything really, really special. It's just a journal. And then, by the way, guys, if you're looking and you're like, man, I am strapped to my guitar when I have that thing plugged into the amp, get these. These are JW03. It's a 2.4 gigahertz wireless guitar system. So you have your transmitter and your receiver. This one's Joyo. I love these. These are phenomenal. They're fantastic. I love Joyo. And the little slogan is, "Feel Joyo playing music." I love it. But that's what I use. And it's two separate connectors. I'll actually open it for you. And it comes with your transmitter, your receiver, and the thing for charging, the USB. It comes, of course, with a little instruction manual with pretty good instructions. And then it comes with the top that goes right on it. And then you got your little box. But yeah. So I love these. These are definitely very helpful. And I can show you guys one day, maybe. I'll do like a tutorial or something while using them, just to show you that it really does work. So that's all for this video, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that really helped. If there's any questions at all, feel free to email me at christianmusicianrp@gmail.com. That's for business inquiries. That's for, questions about a certain lesson. Maybe you've got, you want to do your free lesson. I do offer a free half-hour lesson for the first time on any instrument. So if that's something you wanted to do, I will do that for you guys. So, like I said, any questions or anything like that, if you'd like to do a free lesson, basically my lessons, the way they're set up is we'll open up and I'll, introduce myself, you introduce yourself. We pray, and then the 30 minutes starts. So I know a lot of guitarists, as soon as you answer that Zoom call, your 30 minutes has been started. But for me, the lesson doesn't start until the lesson starts. And I know it's such a mind-blowing concept, like, whoa, But it's not fair for me to cheat you guys on time. I'm not saying they're cheating you. I'm just saying that I feel like I would be. That's just me. It's like a conviction. But free 30-minute lesson for your first lesson on any instrument. So if you got a free 30-minute lesson on guitar, you also get a free 30-minute lesson on piano or whatever. If I decide to start doing more lessons like that, I will, and I'll post them up. I know I did one on ukulele, but I'm terrible at ukulele. I might start doing some on the bass. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have a blessed day, and God bless you all in Jesus' name.